In the world around us, what we see with our own eyes, there is movement and there's always energy and frequency variations. The people that you see on the street or what you embrace is the norm. But now, as I'm here, what is the definition of the norm? We are experiencing the world through our eyes and what we embrace and accept. So with that being said, how are others seeing us through their eyes, through other worlds? I'm here to talk to you about shadow people. What is the definition of that? Ultimately, that's your decision for that definition, but I'm just asking you for a different perspective on the world that we live in. If you remember in the first episode that when I was talking about perceptions, and I had the piece of plexiglass up and I drew out the clockwise fashion. When you looked at it on the other side, it was counterclockwise. Well, with that being said, depending on what side of the glass you're looking through, that perception of clockwise or counterclockwise can be perceived. So, in the world of the shadow people, are we perceiving them as an outside source, or are we the outside source? You know, in that aspect, have you ever been in the shower or you seen the silhouette of someone in the shower and you can't make out who it is or whatnot, and because of the distortion of the glass and the fog from the shower, you end up with this unusual silhouette. And because your brain tries to matrix and create a shape that's familiar to you, it becomes a man or a woman or whatever. So, no different than the face in the moon. You know, everybody sees a face in the moon. Some people see cheese. Preference. But anyway, the point here is that we see these items out of the corner of our eyes, and we see these apparitions, and we immediately try to give it a shape, a form that we're familiar with, whether we're scared or not. If we're startled, where's the first place you often go to? The horror movies. And I should do that visual effect of flashing in and out, but I'm not. So, which just adds to the ambiance of it's a demon or whatever you want to call it. Shadow people, in essence, what I'm trying to do is make you aware that to them, you could possibly be the shadow person. And they may either have a message, or it could be just a curiosity thing. If you see a shadow person, and I'm using this term, it's a broad statement because there's been so many different definitions. Try to embrace with a little bit more open-mindedness that, yes, this is our physical world that we exist in, and we see and feel, but this is one of many, and no matter what path you choose and what spiritual outlook you have, we often look at multiple worlds. If you're willing to embrace that, you have to be willing to embrace that those worlds can come to ours just as much as we go to theirs. It's not just a case of I'm only going to visit the relative and they can never come over. So the concept of shadow people is really, that definition is up to you as an individual. No matter what your path is, you have to reach that conclusion. I'm just asking for more of an open-mindedness of whether or not, if you're going to ride on fear, you're going to manifest fear. If you're going to be a little bit more open-minded about things, then you may actually learn something from these occurrences. So, in recent messages about shadow people that I've gotten is, what are they? Well, I can't define that for you. I like to personally view them as messengers. I get asked, they scared me. Well, yes, there's a lot of things in this world that scares me too, but I don't consider it as something, demonic. By definition, I probably could, but but the aspect here is, do not let fear consume you to where you're going to manifest something that you really don't want to encounter. If you call somebody ugly enough, they generally start treating you ugly. So if you run across a shadow person, once again, your definition, and you keep calling them a demon, guess what you're going to end up having? Just food for thought. Think about it. Shadow people. It's a curious topic. Goes on all over the world. So are we just ignoring it? Are we embracing it? Most importantly, are you exploring it? Thank you for another episode of the Mudutu Effect. Until next time, it's Matthew Lay.